Happy New Year's. But more importantly, it's Tiffy time all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are your hosts, Ryan and Alex. And honestly, it was a fantastic week for the WWE Superstars. And we also got to see the 3 hour debut of Friday Night SmackDown. And so we got an absolute banger in store for y'all. So, as always, like we say, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ryan, how are you doing, my guy?
Man, I am doing phenomenal today, Alex.
La,
Other than
la,
this
la,
damn weather that's
la,
got me
la, la.
damn fucking almost trying to kill me.
Yeah, I am not a fan of the weather that's going on. For our listeners who don't have snow, Ryan experienced the snow as he was traveling from somewhere, and I have been living in it all day. I'm not
Exactly.
happy about it. So that's not fun. Not
Exactly.
fun.
Snowed in.
Nada.
Nada. But with that being said, we do have a banger review, a banger week. Like you said, debut of 3 hour SmackDowns.
Yeet.
We are on the
Excuse me.
eve of the debut on to Netflix, which, bro, I am pumped for.
I am too, but I'm also kind of not pumped for it anymore. Starting with our news. Ryan, what's going on tomorrow night on the debut of Netflix?
I gotta get the dock open. Hold on. There it is. All right. On the news, it looks like we will be seeing an arrival from the final boss himself, The Rock.
I'm so upset.
This is
Like, I
the
get it. It makes
man.
sense. But
Exactly. He's at the Global
the glo-
Globes.
the Golden
Glo-
Globes
Golden
tonight.
Globes.
He's presenting an award to someone. I don't know who it is or what it's for.
But yeah, it's
But
literally 15 minutes away from where they're debuting. They're at tomorrow, so makes sense.
I'm
He's
not
shareholder of the company.
right. It makes sense to have him there. You don't have to have him on the show. I don't like this idea because that kind of just gives, for me, it gives away to me. I'm assuming the end all be all for tribal combat is now Solo's winning over The Rock
Really?
or over Roman. I don't think
Really?
because I still think. I mean, we had this idea way back when. I don't know if we haven't. I don't know if we talked about it much recently, but we had the idea of Solo working with Rock, but Rock was Solo's kind of the puppet tribal chief. Rock's up here. Roman's still the real tribal chief.
Right.
So now I think with tribal combat, Rock's going to step in and be like, "Oh, look now, it's me and you." Because I think though this whole thing ever since WrestleMania, I think Rock's been the one calling all the shots. I think he's the reason we see Jacob, Tama, and Tonga and the WWE and the Bloodline now.
Yeah, I agree with that because
Those are
like
my thoughts, though.
they've made it like very clear that like they should not be here. Like the like fucking criminal system doesn't even want them. So like, why are they in WWE? It's because the final boss is pulling all the strings and lets them be here.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think tomorrow night we're going to see dude. We're going to see Sammy Uso get involved in tribal combat. I
Sammy.
think if you're going to run it
Ooh, so.
I think if you're going to run it the way they ran the past tribal combat, obviously uh, you're going to have family members get involved. But tribal combat rules. People don't know what they are. We looked them up. Tribal combat means none of the families allowed.
Mhm.
So why was it Jay versus Roman? Why was Jimmy involved? I'm pretty sure Solo was involved too.
I don't know. But they've even said in like the promos leading up to this, like let's leave the tribes on the side. I'll be interested to see if they actually follow that.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think The Rock's gonna get involved. Because The Rock's not a part of any tribe specifically. But he's also the one calling the strings, in my opinion. So that's
Hmm.
why I think he's doing all this work with Solo. Excuse me.
Checks out. Definitely interesting. We'll definitely want to dive more into that when we
Something I
go
want
over
to
like
go
everything else
ahead.
with like more of the bloodline stuff when we get into that.
God. There's something else that I want to get into, but it's also a part of Raw, and it's at the end of Raw, but we're gonna start it out with we see Rollins hold on, my bad. Seth freaking Rollins and our second city saint, CM Punk walking in backstage. And I was like, all right, bet. we're gonna have more. No, it was just those two superstars. It's like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So we open up Raw with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. I didn't hear what was said because shit was so loud to me, or I just didn't catch it in total. I think it was like the first 30 minutes or the first hour of Raw was commercial free. I don't remember what the hell it was, but we were supposed to start out with Jey Uso coming out, but the New Day come out. New Day, they're here. Kofi says, "Cut the music." Dude, there's Dominic level heat now, and then there's New Day level heat. Like they get more heat than Dominic. Like that's hard to say. That's hard to beat.
Hard to do. That is hard to beat. Right now, they are more hated than Dominic.
And that's insane. They both of them try talking and everything, and nothing. They try pleading their case. The crowd is just not giving in, and both get booed heavily and everything. And as Kofi is getting ready to say, "If you don't let us, we get Uso." We get Jey Uso coming through the crowd, and Xavier goes, "So I like Jey Uso." Crowd goes, "Yeet,
yeet."
And Xavier, he goes, "Well, Jay, we go way back, and could you talk?" He goes, "Could you talk for us?" Jay goes, "Hey, Houston, quiet down real quick so we can hear what this chump has to say." Yeet,
yeet.
And so, Xavier, crowd's still booing him and everything, and Kingston and Woods, they're like, "Hey, man, could you please talk to the crowd?" Jay's like, "All right, I got you." He goes, "We do go way back." Yeet. So Woods, yeet. Kofi, yeet. Only got to say one thing. Yeet. New Day sucks. Yeet.
Yeet.
And we see Xavier get a little close to Jay with Kofi holding him back. And Jay gets the New Day sucks chant going. And he goes, "Hey, H-Town, I ain't here for that. We got some problems to address. Solo's going to be addressed by Roman. Drew McIntyre is messing with Jay's brothers, the Usos. And, Jay wants to give Drew this yeet down.
Yeet down.
Solo Sikoa, our current tribal chief, I'm not happy about it. I still don't like Solo. Roman's my tribal chief forever. He goes, "Don't worry about us. We already made our mark. We dropped Sammy too." But he goes, "I had to do what I had to do to get Roman's attention." And Solo does recall what Roman did to Jimmy and Jay over the past years, how he basically treated it, or like just basically manipulated the shit out of him, treated him like shit, all that good jazz. And so, sorry. Solo goes, "The Ula Fala is not going nowhere, and it's going to destroy Roman in the tribal combat match." And so Jay and everyone else will acknowledge Solo as a tribal chief. And I don't know if you're paying attention to all this, but Drew McIntyre comes through the crowd in the background of the camera and attacks Jay from behind, unloads onto him, and basically, stands over Jay before he hits the countdown for the Claymore. Jay hits a nice little super kick and starts unloading onto Drew. But as Drew gives Jay a Glasgow kiss, officials come in to stop the fight, and Drew walks up the ramp with his hands up. And I don't know if you caught this, but with me just being able to pay attention to, not me being able to, me wanting to pay attention to, the little tiny fucking details. Bro, a ref tapped Drew's hip, and then he books it to the ring, Claymore's Jay again. And to me, this was way too damn clear on TV to know that Drew was supposed to do what he's supposed to do. To me, that was a, hey, now go. And then boom, he was gone. Nobody even tried stopping him either. But we saw Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, and all those guys try to get stopped. That was, I don't know.
I didn't even know.
To me, that was a little weird. And so, after this, we get Kathy Kelly with American Made, and she asked Gable how he's feeling about fighting Otis. And, he says he feels sick about the talk and not being able to win championships. He says he's starting his list tonight to show people he's not a bum, and he's going to give Otis his final lesson. Bro, this was some of the most cringiest shit I've ever seen.
Oh
Julius
God,
goes, "We weren't just born here." Brutus says, "We weren't just made here." No. I think that's right. Fucking Brutus had said something, and then Ivy goes, "We were made here." I was like, this was lame.
Boo.
That was lame.
I physically cringed in my seat when I heard that.
I did too. I sat there and I was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And so we get Chad Gable with American Made, who's fighting Otis with the Alpha Academy.
Let's go, Otis!
Let's go, Otis! And during Gable's entrance, we see a replay of what happened last week with everything, with Tozawa and Otis and all that. And then we see during Otis's entrance with a sign that I agree with says put Jacob Fatu in Fortnite. I agree.
I
More
do agree with
importantly,
that.
put main event Jay. Oh, so
Oh, so
the megastar LA Knight. Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I think we should put all three of them in Fortnite, to be honest.
those three would go crazy in Fortnite.
But basically throughout this match, Otis he's got the upper hand through a lot of this until American May gets involved. And then basically throughout this, we like I said, Otis had Otis had it all, but just like it was to me like the end of this match. Why did Otis come so far just to lose?
I agree.
I will say,
Well, it
like a
wasn't
key
clean though,
point. No, it was not clean. I will say a
so I think
clean
there's room for a
point.
rematch.
Gable made quick work of Otis's left. Like I noticed that like a lot of superstars here recently are going after a certain like limb or something of a superstar just so that they can target that throughout matches, and it's all throughout matches, like on matches that we've had recently.
Yeah,
Um, but I want to know, did you notice that lariat that Gable took from Otis?
bro. Hell yes, man. Otis looked like a
How much
damn
for you to take
beast in
that?
all of this. I
How much for you to take that?
none, dude. If you actually look at Otis's like legitimate amateur wrestling background, he's a fucking beast. Like I would not fuck with Otis on any given day. And
The
he came across like that in this match. He was a
Give
fucking
me five
animal.
bands of taking that lariat.
5 bands.
Give me 5 bands of taking the lariat. On God.
Oh, I'll take that. 5 bands
Um,
sounds fair.
but I also did notice Maxine Dupree attacking Ivy Nile, dude. That shit was crazy.
Maxine's a badass. Let's go,
Honestly,
Maxine.
I think we see something in the near future, maybe like Rumble or Saturday Night's main event, where these two, um, like factions go at it, and we're gonna have a little bit of faction warfare, say Saturday Night's main event or the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think more Saturday Night's main event because you got to leave room for Rumble for a lot of storytelling.
right.
Um, and so I think here is where we see someone team up with I don't know who honestly could team up with them, but someone team up with Alpha Academy and just show Gable and all them what it truly is. Honestly, no, you can't because he's on SmackDown. Never mind, can't do that. And so you could do Braun
Yeah,
Strowman. But Braun Strowman, I think he's in his own shit with Mello, isn't he?
yeah. He's doing shit with Mello right now.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, for me and all this, why did Otis come so far just to lose?
I
Like
don't
this
know,
was so
man.
anticipated for Otis to win, then he
Yeah,
loses.
exactly. Like this was supposed to be like Otis's moment to get his revenge on Chad. Especially if Chad is moving to SmackDown, then and Otis stays on Raw. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming is happening. Who knows what actually ends up happening? But if that's what happens, then like Otis doesn't get his revenge or like any semblance of like an end to that story, except unless this is a way that we're trying to build Chad Gable up to be a legitimate contender when and if he moves to SmackDown,
I think he's going to be probably just kept involved in the whole United States scene or United States Championship scene. I don't see any
which isn't bad for
farther.
him, honestly. Like I don't think so either right now. Like he's just not being used the way like he should be. Like I would prefer him to be used as like a fucking main eventer, if anything. Like he's good enough to be used in that way, but he's just not being used at all like he should be, I think. He's so underutilized.
Oh, for sure. So I think we'll see something in the near future for either one of them, honestly, because I do want to see Otis do something on his own.
Oh
But
yeah.
he's so universally
I
loved
want
that
I
it's going to
want
be hard to do
Otis
that.
versus Breaker versus that for the IC title.
That'd be
Big man.
insane.
Smacking man
Smack a
me.
man, mate. That'd be insane. But don't make Otis like this weird, like, don't make him like this weird, like, weak being. Make him like this absolute killer that he was against Gable.
He came out dressed kind of like his old heavy machinery tag team kind of set get up. So hopefully they lean more towards like a more legitimate wrestling side for Otis if
Agreed.
he does start doing stuff more on his own.
So
Get the
I think
clap,
he'd be
man.
so good. I mean, honestly, give him a legitimate manager. Get rid of Maxine. Give him a legitimate manager. Honestly, give him like is Don Callis in AEW?
Yeah.
Damn. I wouldn't say give him like a Paul Heyman style of manager, but put Otis's twist on it. Like you notice, there's not a lot of managers in WWE right now. The only one that I know of is Paul Heyman.
It's Paul. And then all the other managers are also like somewhat wrestlers. Well, except for Paul Ellering.
Yeah, I noticed as well. Like I didn't really. It wasn't anything I was watching this week. I mean, I watched it, but it wasn't any like WWE programming. It was Undertaker's 6 Feet Under podcast, and he had a good point because I think it was with Teddy Long. He was talking about it. There's no managers in WWE today besides Paul Heyman and Paul Ellering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's
The two
absolutely no.
Pauls.
So
Managers are really good in wrestling too. Like I genuinely like. I think there's a really like needed spot for them.
agreed.
But yeah, they just don't have them right now in WWE.
So after this, though, after this whole thing with Otis and Gable, we get a Rhea Ripley and a Liv Morgan promo video. It's kind of like a little promo video battle, I want to say. And Rhea starts it out. She goes, 2024 was supposed to be mommy's year. She's some WrestleMania 40 highlights, her relinquishing the title. And she does like a little quick, or we see a little quick shot of the current Judgment Day. And then we see Dom turning on Rhea at SummerSlam. And there were some other shots of Dom and Liv together as well. And then Liv Morgan comes in. She promised to take everything from Rhea. 2024 was the year of the Liv Morgan revenge tour. She did everything to Rhea that happened to her. And this has to end. So Rhea, she comes back, says, part of her has to thank Liv, took the weight that was holding her down. Not talking about that world championship, though. She was talking about Dominic. And says that she's going to take her championship back because she never truly lost it, which is true. And she's never truly lost against Liv Morgan since Liv's had that title, which is true. To go like a bad blood, how did she lose? Raquel Rodriguez walked in, which Rhea will get to later. And Liv goes, every time Rhea has Liv in a corner, Liv was always on top. But Rhea fires back with, the Judgment Day can't save you, Raquel can't save you, and Dom can't save you. And they both end it with, this has to end. I'm so excited for this match
That
tomorrow.
little chicken tender slut can't save her. And
I fucking hate that chicken tender slut.
I think it's Rhea's time. I think she takes the title off of Liv.
Honestly, and you know what I think we do? You go into a program with Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's the easy thing
would
to
like
do
that
right away. Do a little. I mean, it's a filler feud, but yeah. But do that with Raquel Rodriguez for Rumble season, if anything, because post Rumble season, you're gonna hopefully learn who's facing Rhea at Mania, or maybe our newest champion that we already have, Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time, but we'll get to her. I'm excited, but I mostly just think that Rhea needs to get this title off of Liv on Monday.
Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed if Liv kept it. As much as I want Rhea to win, I wouldn't be opposed that Liv kept it. Because then you could really work in a Raquel and Liv feud. Honestly, that's what you could do. You could work in okay, this is gonna sound really bad. Who else is on the roster on the Raw roster for women? I mean, there's Alina, there's Ivy, you can work so many different people like Dakota Kai, Io. Put her in a program with Io. Honestly,
they already did during Saturday Night's main event.
But run it to Mania season. Like run that as your Mania season if you don't run it with Rhea and Raquel.
They could. That doesn't really feel like a Mania match in my opinion right now. I mean,
no,
I'm not
yeah,
trying to shit on
you
your
just have
idea.
it for the build up
really
to Rumble. You have that final match at Rumble, and then Rhea wins the Women's Rumble.
Right.
So I think Rhea wins Elimination Chamber. Charlotte wins Women's Rumble.
I kind of like the idea of Rhea taking the title off Liv and then Charlotte winning the Women's Rumble.
There's huge rumors right now that Charlotte's supposed to
Rhea.
face Tiffy.
Oh my god, that's the match that I want more than fucking anything.
There's rumors right now that it's supposed to be Charlotte and Tiffy.
Not really. I've already talked about what my women's dream match, like number one, is. But like I think last two episodes, but Charlotte versus Tiffany, yes.
Oh, God. And so to get into this whole thing after this promo video, we see Dom, JD, and Carlito all in the Judgment Day clubhouse. And Dom, asks Raquel if she's got something up her sleeve, or if Liv has something up her sleeve. And Raquel's like, I haven't had a chance to talk to her. I'm sorry. And Finn goes, Liv has a plan for everything. Just like how Finn has a plan for Damien and the War Raiders. And Carlito goes, that's cool. Finn's like, yeah, you're right. That is cool. And then he goes, well, and we listen to Finn, we win. And Finn tells Raquel to wish Liv luck for him. Raquel gives him this nasty look.
Dissension, dissension.
And so we see Adam Pearce with CM Punk, kind of helping advertise the face-to-face with Rollins. And then we see PFC and Damage Control backstage helping advertise Zoe Stark versus Dakota Kai, the semifinals for the Women's IC Championship Tournament. And then we get R-Truth coming out. He's getting ready to have a match. He goes, Houston, Texas, let's light this butch up. And then Pete Dunne comes in and attacks him during his entrance. Officials come out, and Pete says he is nobody's butch. I like that they're like you're calling him like a bitch subtly, honestly.
Oh my god. This was nuts, man. What the fuck? I was expecting a match between them or something. No, 30 seconds of that. I'm confused by this feud, I'm not gonna lie. Not a lot's happening with it.
I had to say
I would like Pete Dunne to be doing so much more than comedy. I love R-Truth, but I also love Pete Dunne, and I would like him to be doing a lot more than just comedy work with Truth right now.
I know. I have to put him in the title. Put him in the IC title scene, honestly.
I swear to God, that's where he belongs. Especially when his rival Sheamus is there.
That's what I'm saying.
Like him versus Kaiser would go crazy.
That's what I'm
in a
saying.
number one contender match for Breaker's title, and then Dunn versus Breaker would go fucking wild.
Honestly. And so we see backstage. Sorry. Io Sky with Dakota Kai. With both of them having semifinals matches, have they considered each other being in the finals? And Dakota says PFC doesn't have what it takes to beat Damage Control. It says for the finals, she'd be honored to take on Io. And then Io comes in saying it doesn't matter if they're both in the finals as long as Damage Control has the women's championship. And Io agrees with Dakota and also says Lyra has her respect. Which I like that, honestly. And tonight is Damage Control's night.
Mm-hmm.
And so this getting into our semifinals for the women's Intercontinental Championship match. Zoe Stark versus Dakota Kai. And, bro, two things. During Zoe's entrance, we see a replay of Kyrie, getting attacked and everything. But why the fuck was PFC grabbing her and headbutting the shit out of Zoe?
I don't know.
What the fuck was that about?
Badasses, Alex. They're a bunch of badasses. You wouldn't get it. You're not a badass.
I'm also not stupid.
This is so dumb. They looked really fucking stupid.
That looked awful.
It looked so dumb. Oh,
I don't know. But basically, during this match,
it's like the Usos slapping themselves and chanting during their matches back in the day.
Honestly, dude, I really thought that Stark was going to be winning this match. I mean, she had some insane fucking control over Dakota. And at one point she had Dakota kind of chokehold, and Dakota Kai was able to break it. And just throughout this match, Stark was just taunting the shit out of her. But towards the end, Dakota Kai hits the Dakota kick, but Stark is able to regain control by hitting a flipping exploder suplex, which I thought was fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stark goes to powerbomb Dakota, but gets sunset flipped into a pin. And Stark is able to regain control after kicking Dakota Kai in the face. But Stark eats this fucking super kick off the top rope, and Dakota hits a Pele kick for the win. Holy shit.
Go, Dakota!
I'm so happy.
Dude, I need her to win this damn match and win that damn title.
Honestly.
I love Lyra Valkyria, but Dakota freaking Kai is my pick.
Honestly. even if sorry, um, even if Dakota doesn't hold it long, I wanted to lose it to somebody who's actually like worthy of it. But
Right.
I think it would be better if you worked into a program with like EO or like Kyrie or something.
Yeah,
Same breath.
I like moving it into a program maybe with EO, a friendly like rivalry with EO over it. Then if Sky wins the title and carries that on into WrestleMania with like a banger match with anybody would be flipping awesome.
Honestly.
You do like Sky versus Asuka for the IC title at Mania
Mm.
if you wanted
I,
to.
dude, the crowd would eat that shit up.
Oh my god.
Fans would eat that shit up. I'm telling you. But after
I
this,
would eat that shit up. Heck yeah.
we see the first episode of Monday Night Raw on USA. It was January 11th, 1993, Ryan. 10.5 years before we were even thought of.
Hell yeah.
And so we see a celebration of Raw and USA. You know, we get some highlights and like crazy moments over the years. And honestly, dude, this was a fire ass promotion video. Honestly,
It
like promo
was.
video, this was fire. And so, we see Pierce with Rollins. You know, just some more hype for the face off with Punk. See Lyra warming up for her match backstage, and it starts tomorrow. The John Cena Farewell Tour, January 6th, Raw on Netflix.
It's gonna be
My feed
crazy.
lit up with only that today, and I just was like,
I can't
I'm a,
believe that that's actually about to kick off.
I know.
Like, holy shit, dude. John freaking Cena, like my OG, like favorite wrestler. Damn,
I don't know, man. I'm not ready for it.
I'm not ready.
I'm ready for December 25 because that's when I graduate college, but I'm not ready for John Cena to retire.
Right.
Like I'm gonna be counting down the days. So this leads us into though our 6-man tag match of the Judgment Day, who has Carlito ringside, and it's the War Raiders versus Damian Priest. And again, I wouldn't be opposed to this being a faction, but um, did the Judgment Day get a new theme? Did the Judgment Day get a new theme?
Yes, they did get a new theme. This is a brand new theme that just
I'll
debuted on
say
this Raw. What do you
I
think on it?
noticed it. I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know. I like Alter Bridge song. I like their other side theme from Alter Bridge a lot. I think this is
The,
another song by Def Rebel that just kind of sucks. But I think that if anything, this kind of cements more of like the Judgment Day getting ready to split up because this gives the Liv, Raquel, and Dominic group a chance to use Liv's theme more when they're presented, and then this new group can use this new theme more. And if we want to officially like say Judgment Day is done now.
yeah, I gotcha. And during this, though, we do see a replay at the end of Damien versus Dom. Basically, Judgment Day and the War Raiders and Damien. Oh, we see the Judgment Day and the War Raiders and all them. But we see Damien bling out Judgment Day with the War Raiders' help. And during this match, though, we see Damien and Finn start out, but Finn or Dom or no, they kind of switch sides of the ring, and Dominic gets fucking clocked. So I think is that a little nod to Rhea?
I hope so.
But throughout this, looks like the Judgment Day has like a lot of control. We see Finn, Dom, and JD take advantage of a weak Eric. That's on like their side of the ring a lot throughout this match. Same with Ivar. Damien's able to get a nice little hot tag in and just runs wild. But as soon as Damien gets this hot tag after he runs wild on Dominic, Finn actually runs and tags in Dominic, which is why Dominic gets absolutely destroyed. Damien goes for a South of Heaven after, like I said, demolishing Dominic. But Carlito ends up getting clocked. JD kicks Eric and flips from the ropes. Ivar takes out JD and Dominic, and then we see Dominic eat a South of Heaven for the win. And we see the Judgment Day attack or Finn attack Damien after the match with Carlito's help. Which I mean, dude, this shit has to have a good payoff. If it doesn't,
I
I might
know,
be a little
right?
upset.
I'm kind of ready. I'm ready to see the payoff, and I'm kind of just ready for everyone to move on. I'm ready for the War Raiders to have like a legit tag title run against like some real competitors, like instead of just get stuck in a Judgment Day feud for the next 5 months while they don't defend their titles. Really,
Yeah,
I
I'm kind of
hope that's not what
fucking.
ends up happening.
I
I'm ready for that.
I want to see those tag titles move around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm ready to see them actually get defended a little bit. um,
Um,
I'm excited to see Damien. I want to see Damien. I'm sorry, move on from Finn and just do literally anything else. Go feud with fucking. We've said
Penta.
Breaker's name a million. Oh my god, more on him later.
Did you,
I have an
yeah,
idea
more on
about
him
when
when we
he's
get
coming in,
there.
but fucking a. What was I saying? Damien. What can he? Oh yeah, we've said his name about a million times for people to feud with him, but why not? It's the mid card title for Raw. Have him feud with Breaker. Like that should be like his spot on the roster is the TV champion that is constantly being fed new challengers
I do like
for
that. I
him.
mean, we also got a lot of call ups coming in. We got this little superstar shakeup going on with
Hmm.
like this so called trade period.
Yeah, the
I
trade
don't. When
window
does this
thing.
trade period end? By the way, like
I got no idea. I would assume after Raw on Netflix happens because that's like we've officially like made the move. We've officially switched. So like now all of our biggest stars that we wanted to move to Raw need to be on Raw, and everyone who are moving to SmackDown should be on SmackDown the following week.
yeah, like the NFL trade block is I think it's like week 8 or 9, like when the cutoff is, and then I think MLB's is like after the All Star break, which is mid July, I think, and then I know or no, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the NBA's is like I think it's like right before the playoffs.
Yeah, but this is something
So
you and me have talked about. I wasn't. I'm still not a fan of them doing a trade block right now. I want them to keep a yearly trade block, which is after WrestleMania, if anything. With if you're going to have WrestleMania be your big quote unquote season finale, then that's when you should do your shakeups. But I also understand why they would make the shakeup now with the move to Netflix.
yeah, I think the move to Netflix forced their hand really.
Yeah,
Not at
like
all.
they probably didn't really have a choice. Netflix was like, we need these people now.
Yeah. So we see Jew still walking backstage, and Adam Pearce says there will be no fight tonight. But next week, speaking of Netflix, on Monday Night Raw on Netflix, we will see Drew McIntyre versus main event Jay
Oh,
Uso
so
1-on-1, and we see Jay silently yeeting away.
yeet,
Um, Crash Out Jay is coming
angry
back
yeet,
slowly.
angry yeet,
Crash Out Yeet. Crash Out
crash out,
Yeet.
crash yeet.
Um, you know what? You know Carlos, right? My buddy Carlos.
Yes, I do.
I guess our buddy at this point, yeah. Dude, he said something to me the other day. He goes, Alex, I can finally watch Raw. I said, dude, you're gonna love it if you watch it. I'm telling you. You're gonna see why I yeet so damn much.
Oh yeah, yeet.
So we also see CM Punk and Seth Rollins backstage, both getting ready for their little promo. And then the one thing that you have been really speaking highly of, especially with this whole thing with Rollins and Punk, Penta El Cero Miedo, his promo video confirming that he basically signed with WWE. Like we all know he signed at this point.
Yeah, that was his mask. That was just his mask that showed up at the end of that promo video. It's Penta.
Did you see what I sent you today? That little tweet or that little screenshot or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
was?
That little like photo shoot or something like that.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Oh my god, dude. And also like this is like I messaged you I think about I don't know if I've mentioned it on the pod like I think I might have mentioned it last week. I can't remember for sure. This promo video aired after the CM Punk and Seth Rollins shots were shown. It's like we see Seth on one side of the screen, we see Punk on the other side, or maybe it was like an individual shot of both. I can't remember. And then it was the Penta tease. So my speculation now is that Pence is getting involved after or in the finish of Punk and Rollins. And one
I
of
think
those two is going to be his first feud.
I think you keep it. I think you rerun the Punk feud from AEW. Do it better,
They never
obviously.
feuded in AEW, to be fair.
They had a match or two at least that I know of because I had looked it up. I was genuinely curious. They either had a match or something like that. And it was like back in like 22. I want to say that's so like weird to say. It's 2025.
Mm-hmm.
That is so weird to say.
CM Punk returned in fucking
CM Punk returned a year in
22.
like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
He returned in 23.
Oh, I was talking about like officially returning to wrestling.
I
It
think
was either
so.
like 21 or 20. It was 22, I'm pretty sure, but for some reason my brain says 21. I don't know why.
Let me see. I want to make sure because I want to make sure I'm saying this shit right. Yes, they had a match, but he wasn't Cero Miedo. He was Penta Oscuro.
Penta Oscuro.
Because I had looked up, I was like, I wonder who Penta Oscuro is. If it can't be Penta Cero Miedo, but I didn't know that was his other name. So
Yeah, it's just like
I'm
it's just like
excited.
a game. It's like a Penta light and a Penta dark, basically.
Yeah. And so after this, we get who I still holding true to be our next intercontinental champion, our greatest intercontinental champion, Ludwig Kaiser. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Ladies, I can't do it. He goes,
Ladies and gentlemen, I
I
demand
demand all
all
your
your
gratitude
gratitude.
for Ludwig Kaiser. I sat there, I was like, what? He goes, all of you peasants know that Ludwig Kaiser belongs at the top of the food chain in WWE because Kaiser is A plus everything. He is European excellence, and he wants Braun Breaker. We get Sheamus coming out, and Joe Tessitore, before Sheamus even gets to the ring, he goes, I think he's about to take a European ass kicking. And Sheamus and Kaiser brawl before Sheamus takes a little bit of control. And Sheamus has Kaiser pinned before going for Sheamus's eyes. And Sheamus gives Kaiser a nice little knee, setting up for the bro kick to Kaiser, dude. Holy shit.
Holy shit. I will take these two fighting every day of the week.
Honestly. But I need Braun Breaker to be doing some of that title, man. He can't just be sitting on the sidelines waiting for these two to be fighting back and forth. Like,
first of all, he wasn't on this
fresh.
show. Yeah, Breaker wasn't on this show. Not that I see or remember.
He was not on this show.
He's not advertised for next show.
He was on last week though.
He's not advertised for the Raw and Netflix show, which I do not like, in my opinion.
I don't like that either. Like, he's your mid card.
He's your Raw mid card champion.
He might be on the show.
He might be featured in an angle. I imagine it'll have something to do with these two. Maybe.
Oh god, yeah.
But
I guarantee this turns into a
match. Would be like if you ran back this triple threat. It was the Survivor Series. These guys have triple threat on Survivor Series, which was a banger.
That was
if
such
you just
a good
ran
match.
that back as a rematch on Raw. Like I guarantee
the last time we've seen Breaker was 2 weeks ago, the IC title match. Him and Kaiser. I even looked it up in last week's notes. There is nothing.
Damn, bro.
And
where
so
the dogs at?
After this, we get LWO, who's with Alpha Academy, and Ray goes, hey man, don't trip. Next time I know you'll whoop Gable's ass. And the New Day come in. Kofi goes, is that Rey Mysterio, the locker room leader? And Ray's like, hey, y'all need to take your BS somewhere else before I'm going to teach Kingston how to be a leader. And he says, if the New Day is feeling a little froggy, Ray's going to pick one of his guys to go with him and go. And Xavier goes, oh, Ray, so you're going to pick one of your Rey Mysterio cosplays? And Kofi starts roasting every single one of the LWO, including Zelina. Like, he went in. I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm. So, my idea is that it's going to be Dragon Lee and Ray versus the New Day.
Of course,
but I think that this is either them trying to throw us a red herring, or maybe this is them telling us that Penta might debut in an LWO type.
No.
As Ray's partner next week.
No. That's how you kill all of his credibility right there. That's how you kill the Penta character before you even seen it on screen.
I agree.
That's
I
how you
agree.
kill it.
I agree.
Now,
I hope that
all
this isn't
respect,
just a red herring.
all respect to Rey Mysterio, LWO, Dragon Lee, Zelina, whatever.
Yeah.
They haven't done shit since the whole thing with the Judgment Day and Dominic.
Yeah, no,
And
they
or
done
no, it was the whole
shit.
Santos angle, which they could have done so much better, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
But like
I
it happened
hope,
with Andrade. Andrade immediately got thrown into that whole mix with those two groups,
but
LW
you
and
were able to pull
LDF.
him away from that because of the whole IC title scene. You have such a bigger opportunity to bring one of the other company's biggest stars by having them fight one of your biggest stars in Rollins or Punk. I'm telling
Exactly.
you, there's
Exactly.
so much more to this that Penta is like included in than I think people are thinking.
Which is why I'm hopefully thinking that this is just like a red herring of them being like, "Oh, who's Ray gonna get? Maybe he's gonna get a mystery or something." I hope it's just not. I hope it's
I
just
hope it's Dragon
yeah. I hope it's just Dragon, and I hope that at
because
the end of the night we get something along the lines of Rollins stand. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I kind of don't want to spoil what I want to say for the review of the main event, but like the show should end with like Penta standing tall over like the two main event guys. But then I might talk about that more when you talk about the main event segment because oh my god, it was nuts.
that shit was fucking insane. We talked about it on our review show for the year, so sorry for those spoilers. Not sorry.
That's all
Get
right.
into our main event match
It was
though.
so
The
good.
other semifinals for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, I was okay with this being the main event of everything we had. I
Oh
was
yeah,
actually okay with this.
me too.
It was good. A lot of this was just a lot of back and forth between Io and Lyra, dude. Like they just showed out as usual. I mean, Io gives Lyra, or no, Io ends up receiving a dragon screw off the top rope. Looks like just hell.
Ah, dude, that
Um,
was actually pretty nuts, man. I was like, God damn, you're like a
we see
leg
at some
break.
point, um, we see a double crossbody from them both in the ring. They both get down, but Io gains control by able to hit a missile drop kick. And as she goes for over the moonsault, though, Lyra stops her, and Lyra shotgun drop kicks Io into the corner. And at this moment in the match, I had written this before the end. At this moment, I knew we were going to get Io versus Dakota. I don't know why. I was really confident in that. But let's get to the end of the match. A little bit of this, like Io, bro, Io and Lyra need like one of the top moments of the year. This sunset flip off the top rope and Lyra kicking out was
God
insane.
damn, dude, it was fucking crazy. I thought I was like, oh, that's it. Think like we're
Bro,
done.
like Lyra's head ate majority of, not trying to say any weird shit, Io's ass and her thigh. Like
Yeah.
Lyra's head got crushed. I don't know, man. But Io's able to hit a Meteora, but her and Valkyria end up trade switches throughout this, and Valkyria is able to hit this interesting pin on Io for the win. So what do we think? We got Lyra Valkyria, Dakota Kai, Women's Intercontinental Championship, Netflix. I don't think it's advertised. Hold on. Is it advertised?
I haven't seen anything advertised for it. I didn't even see a match graphic for it. Or no, there might have been one, but I just don't remember it.
Oh, no. Damn.
But dude, I am ungodly pumped about this. I would have loved to see a damage control like friend versus friend final, but Lyra is flipping awesome. I would have preferably liked to see her end the match with her actual finisher, the Nightwing, but I also understand wanting to protect Io with a roll up like that. And I do like Valkyria, but dude, give it to Kai. Just give it to Kai.
Honestly.
But my speculation is Valkyria could actually be the more likely of the two. Because with all the reports that are coming out, Becky Lynch is rumored to be heavily factored into a lot of Netflix's and especially WrestleMania plans right now.
This is true.
So
I do agree with that. I've seen those
Valkyria
rumors as well.
is Becky's quote unquote understudy. She's also the person that took the the NXT Women's Championship off of Becky. So I could see Lyra winning this match and then Becky Lynch returning to have a face off between those two to hype up the act, to just build credibility onto the IC title that Becky Lynch now wants to go after.
I would be okay with them not doing it if they made this into a feud. So now we have our
Lyra
final two
versus
people for this.
Dakota?
Yeah, make it Lyra versus Dakota feud. Run it into Saturday Night's main event, and then that's how you do it again. You crown it that way because I think the way they're trying to do it is so they're not trying to make the women's IC title more important than the women's US. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do that,
Yeah, true. But at the same time, Chelsea Green holds that one. And I love Chelsea, but both Lyra and Dakota are considerably better champions than Chelsea, or more credible than Chelsea Green could be. And Chelsea Green's a legend. I'm not trying to knock her
shut
in
up.
any way. No, no. I'm not even playing a bit at this point. Like, she's like a 10+ year vet or some shit at this point. Like,
Bro, she was Dan O'Brien's therapist.
exactly. And yeah, it's just you're gonna also have that. They've also always presented I've in my head at least, you've had your two world champions, the WWE and the World Heavyweight, but the WWE champion has always sat just a step or two higher than the World Heavyweight. And then you go down to the mid card championships, and that's the exact same way with the IC championship over the US championship. So I could also see a similar pattern taking place in the women's division too. That's just how I've personally seen it and how it's felt in my viewing experience.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Like that.
How I've perceived it.
Okay.
Okay.
So after this, we do move into our main event segment, the CM Punk face to face with Seth freaking Rollins. So Rollins comes out, he goes, Houston! He says, usual, welcome to Monday Night Rollins. What do you say for the last Raw in USA? We go out with a bang. That's how I knew this was about to be like a fire.
God damn, did we?
The biggest fight 10 years in the making. Seth hypes up the match for next week. We got the Visionary versus the Voice of the Voiceless, the Revolutionary versus the Second City Saint, the best versus the self-proclaimed best. And Seth will be on Monday Night Raw after the move to Netflix. And if things don't go Punk's way, what's he going to do? He's going to whine and cry. He's maybe going to take another 10 years off. Punk comes out. He goes, took the ball and went home? The most industry cliche bootlicker line. Did Stone Cold take his ball and go home? I haven't seen the man in these parts. Did she take her ball and go home too? Oh my God.
That one was instant. Like that line is what made me text you. Like, Punk is not holding back on this one. Like, and the promo wasn't even halfway done.
You want to tell 15,000 strong I abandoned them? Or do you want to cry because I left? I got no regrets. Honestly, I don't want to talk about the last 10 years. Let's talk about the last 10 months. How's your knee? How's your back? How's your neck? How's your pride? Self-proclaimed best in the world? Self-professed martyr. You're right. Like I said before, I'm not here to make friends. He's here to make cash. And he's ready to make Rollins be the little brother he is. And Rollins goes, my wife's taking a break to take care of her kid. Bet you don't know anything like that, huh? And Stone Cold said he regretted leaving. You went on your buddy's podcast shitting on us, and then you went and joined a competition for a big chunk of change. How'd that work out for you?
Damn,
Holy fuck!
That was
crazy. Just going over this promo. Like I'm chills, bro. Chills.
That bar,
chills.
Like, now gets a reaction out of me of just like, oh, you said that.
No way, no, bro.
Like, no shot.
Seth said he fought and stayed because that's how revolutions are made. You can't big brother me anymore because I'm the big brother. You'll take another 10 years off after the 6th. And it's going to be a decision that Rollins makes for Punk. Excuse me. And Punk goes, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. I loved the place I worked. I hated the guy in charge, and he loved you,
Ooh.
bro. What the fuck?
And he loved you. You could Punk. I don't know if you caught it, but Seth literally gave him just this look and actually pointed at him or some shit of just like, bro, don't
I might.
like.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch this promo. I'm so sorry. Like I
He
need to go
had
watch this.
some type of a reaction to that to like look at Punk and be like, bro, you're treading a line here. Which, like, I
You
don't think they
should.
like each other or anything, but
They
I
don't
think
like each
even
other in real
Seth
life at all.
realizes oh yeah, definitely they don't. But like, even Seth is like, bro, don't bring that name up on TV.
Oh man,
He
all the
who shall not be
situations.
named.
You should have had my back. You threw arrows in my back. Now you're trying to play victim in a feud you created. All the greats find a way to march forward, you know. And after he was gone, all the arrows were pulled out. For 7 years, the crowd chanted Punk's name during Rollins TV time, by the way. And
Mm.
Punk should be dead, but he's not. I I don't. Do you know what he meant by this line? Like, I'm confused.
Wait, what was it again? Run it by me.
He said Punk said I should be dead, but I'm not. Did he get into something that I don't know about?
Um, I don't know. I think it's more. I think he's more talking metaphorically because of like he's talking about arrows being shot into his back by like the haters. So he's kind of talking more of like
Oh yeah. Okay,
haters are
okay.
constantly throwing arrows into my back, hoping that it'll kill me, but I just pull the arrows out and become stronger. Is what he's
I
essentially trying to say.
Yeah, I guess we get this. Like, man, we get your answer. The next line: Aren't the arrow throwers mad? In L.A., he's gonna take the arrows and jam him down Rollins' corporate throat. I was like, damn.
Damn. Constantly calling Seth corporate in all of this is just like, bro, it just adds on just another layer to it.
But Rollins fires back. He goes, I never said this to your face. Maybe you were a pioneer, but what you have become is a cancer. You're a cancer in the locker room. You're a cancer in my brain. You're a cancer to this business. And Seth is going to bring his hate and rage for Punk, and he's going to burn him to the ground.
He's gonna.
I would scream like Rollins did, but I'm a little sick right now with a sore throat, and I'm not trying to blow your guys' ears out. Sorry. Um, so I'm fucking excited. If you could have let them have an hour at each other, bro, they're firing back. They're firing back on all cylinders. I don't care.
Yeah, like this match needs a good like, like 30 plus 40 fucking minutes. Like they will put on an epic. Like this is going to be phenomenal.
I know it's gonna be the main event too, which I'm so excited about.
With Netflix not having like a set runtime that you were talking about earlier, they could just run this as like
Give
I
me an
mean
hour, dude.
WWE doesn't. You mentioned it an hour. W, excuse me,
Iron Man
sorry.
match.
WWE, dude. Oh my God. I don't know about you, but in my head, I've always kind of thought of Seth Rollins as a Triple H and a Shawn Michaels kind of guy,
Oh yeah, for sure.
like the way he's kind of like been brought up. Meanwhile, CM Punk is not shy to say that he's a Bret Hart guy.
Oh, 100.
Just,
percent
dude, give him a freaking Iron Man match at Mania.
That's how you finish it out. Honestly, that's what you could do.
That's how you finish it out for the world title at WrestleMania. Punk versus Rollins in an Iron Man match. Wow. That damn. Damn.
Damn.
I think we figured it out. I think we cracked the code, man.
Main event night one, because main event night two is going to be John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship.
That's actually what it's looking like, to be honest with you.
That's heavy rumors right now.
Unless the final boss has something to say about it.
Dude, fuck Final Boss.
And The Rock comes in at number 31 in the Royal Rumble to win it all.
He needs to go sit his corporate ass in his fucking office in TKO's headquarters.
Everyone has it out for The Rock. He's always kept it down. He's the little man in the situation.
Okay, here's my thing. Undertaker knew when to call it quits. Hold on, I'm not done. Undertaker knew when to call
Okay,
it
did he
quits.
though? Did
Triple
he
H knew when to
though?
call it
Did he
quits.
though?
Shawn
Did
Michaels
he
knew when to call
though?
it quits.
Triple H didn't have a
Bret Hart knew
choice.
when it was called quits.
Okay, no, he did.
Kofi's calling it
You
quits.
are you. I can poke holes in every single one of them.
Okay, yeah, they
Bret
all
Hart
came
had a
back,
match with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 26, I think it was. Shawn
and
Michaels came back for a match in Saudi Arabia.
and
Undertaker
hold
retired
on, hold
once.
on. And you know every single time why they kept coming back? If it wasn't for the paycheck, they all would have stayed retired. I'm telling
But
you. If it wasn't for the
yeah,
paycheck, they all would have stayed retired. That's
facts,
the only loophole I can find in that. That's the only
facts,
loophole I'm gonna hold on it.
facts. Other than the fact, I mean, Undertaker's loophole
Because
was that he
Sean even
wasn't
admitted,
satisfied with.
no,
Undertaker's loophole was that he wasn't satisfied with his last match, and he just had to keep. He wanted that last like banger.
dude, it would have been so
And
good against Roman Reigns. Like just to have Roman retire Taker.
that
Honestly,
dude,
now
that would have
looking
been
at
such
it
a
in this
cool
generation,
fucking way to do it. If you would have had the tribal, like, I really
oh,
liked the.
this was
He
big
came in
dog.
dominated
This
the
was big
Fiend's.
dog
Oh
Roman
fuck the big
Reigns.
dog! I hated the big dog. Ungodly, bro. Fuck the big
This was
dog. That
big
was
dog
such.
Roman Reigns when that match
If you had
happened.
used the win from WrestleMania 36, I think it was that they had that match. No.
I think it
Yes.
was 35.
Yeah. No. 34. It was 34. It had to
I
have
don't
been
know.
34. Because 36 was pirate themed in the pandemic. 35 was the one that went on for 7, almost 8 hours. And then, yeah, 34 was Roman versus Taker main eventing. And where the fuck was I going with this?
I don't remember.
I fucking lost my point already trying to figure out what Mania it was. Never mind. Either way, I'm excited for Punk versus Rollins on Netflix tomorrow.
Me too. I'm gonna lose my
Now,
mind.
me too, man.
Your phone
It's
might
gonna
be
be
blown up at the end of the
exciting.
night. I'm so sorry.
I'm putting it on Do Not Disturb. I'm turning off notifications for
Ryan's gonna have
Instagram,
100 text
for
messages from me after he
YouTube.
gets off work. He's gonna
I'm
check his
turning
phone 1:30 in the morning. 100
I'm
notifications. Alex
silencing your
McLaughlin.
fucking contact, motherfucker. You think I'm kidding? I'm silencing your contact, turning off notifications for
That's fine.
Instagram, YouTube, and everything so I don't get nothing spoiled. And then I'm gonna go home and turn on fucking Netflix, of all things, to watch wrestling.
That's what I'm saying. I never thought this would happen. We're here. We're here.
We're here. We made it.
Mama, we
Another
made it.
thing that I didn't think we'd ever get to is 3 hour Friday Night SmackDowns, Alex.
I didn't think we get to those either.
God
Especially with
damn
Vince
it.
McMahon in charge, dude. The name we
Yeah,
shall
that's
not. I
it.
don't really care. This is our podcast.
He who shall not be
He
named.
who shall not be named. Oh
But
shit!
with that being said, are you ready to move into SmackDown?
Hell yeah!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, first ever 3 hour SmackDown on USA Network. It is also the first WWE show of the year, I'm pretty sure. January 3rd, 2025. Opens up with a video going over Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes' drama over the last few weeks, including the ladder match being made official for Royal Rumble. I am pumped for that, dude. It's gonna be bloody, I hope, and it's gonna be nuts, the bumps that they're gonna take, especially Kevin.
Honestly,
Speaking
I'm
of
excited.
Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. He
Cody,
comes out
Cody Rhodes.
He comes out and officially kicks off the first 3 hour SmackDown. Phoenix! Normally, he would ask what we want to talk about, but we are all wanting to talk about the same things. And it's WWE being on the cusp of changes. Everything about itself, its sports, entertainment, and professional wrestling as a whole. Tonight, SmackDown moves to 3 hours, and Monday Night Raw moves to Netflix. As much as Cody wants to be involved, he is not cleared to wrestle right now, and it's all because of Kevin Owens. He starts talking about the ladder match at Royal Rumble when we hear a sword and a bunch of bagpipes play. Drew McIntyre interrupts Cody Rhodes. And dude, just the image of these two standing across from each other in a ring is like, that's main event money.
Mm-hmm.
Main event money. Give me that match.
Give it to me now.
And as they look at each other, Drew suddenly hugs Cody. Just pulls him in for a long embrace, pulls away, and Cody is like, "Bro, what the fuck just happened?"
Let me ask.
Like,
Let me
huh?
ask. What did you think about that?
What instantly went into my head is, oh, well, they know each other from the indies scene, so this is kind of Drew just being like, "You're not my enemy. You're someone who I love and respect from our past," which kind of gets alluded to in the promo that they have, and that's kind of what I thought of the hug when he did that.
That I had the same reaction as Cody. I was like, bro, what?
I mean, yeah, I definitely was because that's not Drew's character right now. So I was
No, not at
definitely like,
all.
why are you doing this? But then it's like, well, they did kind of go out on the indie scene together and kind of like travel and do all that shit together, I guess. So I get it kind of makes sense in my head when you know that. Well, like I said, in my head, it did.
Right.
Let me get back to my phone. And Cody's like, what the fuck? And Drew gets a mic. He said that he isn't here to hurt Cody. He's here to help him. Him and Cody go way back, so he is here to tell him that he is about to screw up his entire life's work, pointing at the WWE Championship over his shoulder. Everything he has done to be the centerpiece and to bring us into the future and the greatest generation in the history of the company. It's not the 80s, not the new generation, not the golden age, not the attitude era. It's right freaking now. Right now, the best wrestlers and the right now we have the best wrestlers and the numbers are better than ever with Cody Rhodes at the center of it all. It's true. It's damn true, ladies and gentlemen.
It's true.
He says he sympathizes with Cody about not being fucking words, not being allowed to fight, and he compares Kevin Owens to a fan running around with a fake championship, calling himself the world champion now. He thinks Cody needs a friend and someone to watch his back now, but Cody hears what Drew says and says that Drew says that he always says the truth. Always does. You know Drew. He's trustworthy, I guess.
No,
Definitely
he's
not.
not.
Definitely not. Cody wants to tell the truth back to Drew right now, and he says that years ago he watched him carry the company through its darkest time, that being the pandemic, of course. They are kindred spirits all the way. The way they left, rebuilt themselves, and returned, finished their stories. They went on the indies scene, of course. Drew more so like on the European kind of indies scene. Cody Rhodes went freaking everywhere. He
Yeah.
wants to call Drew a beast on the mic and in the ring, but he just doesn't believe him right now. He can feel the tension of the situation that it's all going to devolve with Drew. So Cody tells Drew to step up and challenge him for the title already. Basically, Cody making the challenge now to Drew. But Drew emphasizes he isn't here to hurt him. He is here to help him as he walks out of the ring and he gets onto the ring apron. He turns around and he goes, by the way, you need to watch your back. This is when Kevin jumps Cody from behind and stomps on his neck a few times. All definitely going after that. That's what he's been going after the whole time with the pile drivers. All until security is able to separate them, and Kevin makes his way up the ramp and backstage. We'll see Kevin again later in a very
Yeet.
interesting segment. But what are your thoughts on this? Drew and Cody.
No.
No. What about no?
No. I don't want to
Well,
keep
don't want the feud
Drew
or don't want a
this
partnership?
done with partnership. Feud,
Oh,
yes.
definitely not
Partnership,
going to
hell
partnership.
no.
They're not. They're definitely not going to partner.
I definitely would want the feud at some point. I don't even think it really even needs to be over the WWE Championship. I mean, it'd be nice because they're both world champion contenders. Obviously, I mean, we obviously have a former world champion and our current company champion.
hmm
So I think at some point we should get that, but I don't know when because I kind of want John Cena to win the um, championship off Cody at Rumble or not Rumble, Mania.
Really? Oh
Yes.
no. Oh no. Kind of want Cody to beat John and then John to go on a depression run and then win it at the very end of 2025.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I also like the idea of like John beating. Either way, I like the idea of either John Cena or The Rock beating Cody and that basically being the tipping point that sends Cody over the edge to go heel.
Ooh.
to be like all of this. I've spent what was it 2022 when he came back, 2023 he had the match with Roman, 2024 he won the
Match with
title. It took him damn near 2 years since returning to win that championship after all the blood, sweat, and tears after 2016 he left as Stardust, all for him to get to the top of the mountain, win the championship, and a year later he's beaten by a legend of yesterday. Like, I freaking love that. In my opinion, like, obviously, like you don't want a legend to defeat your current star, but if you're trying to tell that story specifically,
Yeah.
they'll just hammer that point home. In my opinion, then it could work pretty well, especially with John, and he'd rub it in Cody's face.
A big match, John.
Hmm.
Oh God.
Big match, John. And after that, though, we go backstage and we see Solo and his bloodline walk in, and we hear about them taking on the Uso triplets later on in the night. That is going to be the main event, of course. We also see Naomi and Bianca Belair walk in, as well as Nia for their title match later. We now see Andrade backstage, making his way to the ring for his match against Nakamura, which is next, which isn't for the title, weirdly enough, but still a banger, though. We love Andrade. At least I do. I
Yeah.
stand Andrade here. Before the match begins, the announcers remind us of their history in New Japan Pro Wrestling as Nakamura immediately falls to the outside and eats a moonsault from Andrade. During the commercial, Nakamura gets some offense until a dragon screw stops him, and after getting back on top and taking the top turnbuckle off again, just like their last match a couple weeks ago, Nakamura is drop kicked into the steel. It's used against him. Another moonsault, though, from Andrade leads to him attempting the message, and he counters. He counters Shin's counter as they struggle on the top rope, though, Nakamura drops Andrade face first into the ring post, knocking him out. Then he dumps him into the ring, hits a Kinshasa to the back of his head for the win. Didn't use the mist or anything, but just as he's celebrating in the ring, we hear L.A. Knight. Yeah!
Yeah.
Knight takes down Nakamura and tries hitting a BFT on him, but Shinsuke runs. Megastar gets the mic now and just goes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You steal my title and things go crazy one way or another. He is coming to collect what is owed to him because what goes around comes around, and he is coming to stomp Nakamura into dust and take back his United States title.
Yeah.
Yeah! Fuck yes, dude. I'm excited to have LA Knight back on our screens. I think this is the last time we've seen him in like 2-3 weeks or something like that. At least he wasn't on the show last week, not that I can remember. But I'm excited to have him back. And I want him to win that U.S. championship from Shin at the next Saturday night's main event that we saw get advertised for January 25th or something like that.
Wait. The next Saturday night's main event?
Yeah, like in like 2-3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks. Yeah, he hasn't been seen in 2 weeks. I think it's January 25th because it's a weekend before Rumble.
Right, so hopefully Saturday night's main event, we do Shinsuke versus LA Knight round 2. And we give and then we give the Megastar back his championship. Mostly not because I want to mug off Nakamura, but I kind of want to give Knight like a real feud. Like
Honestly.
if you have him and Shinsuke trade the title once, like sure, like that knocks that. Then that just gives LA Knight a free chance to call himself a 2-time United States champion.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
and then that can establish like a legitimate feud, like I just said, between him and Nakamura that they can run a round 3 of on another show down the line, maybe
All right.
Royal Rumble.
This is probably gonna be biased. Like your answer when I asked this question, who had the better United States title run, Logan Paul or LA Knight?
LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan Paul. I actually saw a really good really, really funny statistic. So you're someone who didn't like Roman Reigns when he had his like legendary, stupid long, forever day title run
Yeah, that
because he doesn't defend it.
1,316.
He doesn't defend it ever at all. But if you look at it statistically, Logan Paul held his championship for 100 and something days and only defended it 3 times.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, I can't remember the exact numbers and how they line up, but the gist of what I'm trying to say is that on average, Roman Reigns defended his championship more
Oh,
times than
I know
Logan
you're
Paul
talking
did.
about. Like it was like Roman within like a 12-month period, and then Logan Paul within 12-month period, and Roman had
Exactly.
fucking beat him by like I think it was like 3 months or something like that. It was something stupid. I know exactly
Exactly.
what the fuck you're talking about though.
Don't y'all be dragging down Roman Reigns when Logan Paul's out here being this fucking douchebag. But yeah,
Yeah,
LA Knight for sure, and that's not even because of bias. It's because of what I just said. Logan Paul never defended it.
good. Until he met the megastar. Yeah,
Yeah,
lost to him
and
at
he fucking
SummerSlam.
went into his pool.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it
and then
was.
went
It
and had
was
a
like the
kid.
funniest
Yeah,
highlights of 2024 or something like that on WWE's YouTube. And it was LA Knight in the pool of Logan Paul's house, bro. I forgot how funny that was.
that shit was amazing. Love that
Then
shit.
after this, though, we move backstage and we see Pretty Deadly, yes boys,
Yes,
walk up
boy.
to Apollo Crews, saying snitches get stitches, and
That's
Crews
fact.
confronts them about DIY attacking the Profits. Like, why are you lying, bro? Why are you throwing shade? Which is when Santos and Legado del Fantasma walk in, calling them pretty little liars. Santos says it's ridiculous to think that their actions won't have any consequences before they jump them. They jump PD. Huge brawl breaks out before security shows up, and Nick wants to talk to Pretty Deadly after Legado del Fantasma are taken away. We actually get a really cool segment, which I thought, which is when we went to commercial and came back, and we actually get to see their conversation now. Kind of a benefit of a 3 hour Raw, I guess. Or
Mm-hmm.
not a Raw, a SmackDown, which we get longer segments kind of with teams that we don't get to, or just people in
Teams that you
general that we
never
don't get to
see,
see.
really.
Yeah, like Pretty
Yeah.
Deadly. We haven't seen them in forever. Nick, after commercial, Nick is asking them about the truth and what they are up to. Like, what are y'all after in all of this? DIY comes in and tries defending Pretty Deadly, saying that they love them, and they make it clear. Uh, they make the line, or fuck, yeah, they make the line in terms of title contenders. Apparently, not Nick Aldis. Nick doesn't control his own show, and
Apparently
they make it
not
clear
anymore.
to, yeah, right. They make it clear to Pretty Deadly that they need to leave Phoenix still tag team champions. Kind of like giving them a little wink, wink, like if you know what we mean, boys.
So I didn't think they were gonna do it the way they did it.
Yeah, neither did I. Not at all. But still, I am happy that Pretty Deadly is on screen more now because hopefully that means we get to see Pretty Deadly the musical.
Musical.
The musical. One can hope.
I'm excited.
Me too. I want to see. I want to see them legitimately get put in the like title match contendership now because we've got like a pretty healthy roster on the SmackDown side of it all. We got the Profits, DIY, Guns, LD. I'll give LDF some credit. I'm not gonna lie. I'll give him some credit after that match with the Profits last week. They kind of showed up and Pretty Deadly. Like they got the setup for potentially a really cool ladder match if they wanted to do a tag team ladder match at Mania, which
They
is what they
could.
seem to be fond of doing here in the past few years, or at least multi-man tag team title matches at Mania. If they wanted to do one, SmackDown has a phenomenal roster for it.
Oh, for real. Raw could, it could use some work.
Which actually leads me to a question I wanted to ask you. This transfer window, we haven't talked nearly enough about mid-card or tag teams that could get moved over. I think Raw might be itching for. They might have seen the popularity that they got on SmackDown, and I think Raw on Netflix might be itching for Motor City Machine Guns to come up.
Nah, you know why?
Really, you don't think so?
You don't know why?
Why?
Because Pretty Deadly, the musical, Yes Boy, is going to happen on Monday Night Raw.
Oh my god!
Honestly,
Dude, that's hilarious.
no. In all seriousness, yes, I could definitely see um, Motor City Machine Guns going over, but I do like this feud that they're in with DIY, to be honest, and like
Yeah,
how it's not really Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. It's more Johnny Gargano versus Alex Shelley and Saban and Ciampa are like kind of on the outside looking in to a degree.
yeah, yeah. Ciampa just wants the titles. It's personal for like
Exactly.
Gargano and the Guns at this point.
You see how Ciampa holds that damn thing?
Yeah, dude, he holds it like his own child.
He holds it like broke Baron Corbin did when he held that Money in the Bank.
Literally. Uh, but then after we see all this tag team nonsense backstage, we move to the ring where we get a match between Michin and Piper Niven. Piper comes out accompanied by, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest women's United States champion ever in the
You're
history of the
you're
championship,
you're
Chelsea Green.
tripping.
Chelsea Green!
You're tripping.
In the lineage and in the glorious history of that championship, Chelsea Green is the number one person to hold it. I agree with Corey standing up to put his hand on his chest during her entrance as she comes down to the ring, as we all should. Are you not patriotic? Do you not support your country? That is our United States champion. She represents us right now.
Man,
Let's get into this match, though. So, we can't talk about someone who has that much star power all night. I know it's easy to. As the match gets
bro, I wish
rolling,
we were on Twitch, bro. Like they'd be able to see my facial reactions right now, man. Like I'm just sitting here like this dude is spitting some nonsense. Like I have never seen such BS be spewed. Oh man.
I love Chelsea Green. She's so good.
Oh
Match gets rolling though. Michin hits all of the Hurricane Ranas until Piper drops her onto the floor. After a salute from Piper, she misses a cannonball and a Piper driver. But it's understandable. You gotta respect the fucking champ. Duh. This
yes, dude.
all leads to Michin getting some momentum for her to dodge a Piper bomb and hits Eat Defeat for the win. I think I say it every time that I cover a Michin match. I hate her finisher. Like
I do hate the eat defeat.
Michin's a pretty good wrestler. I'll give her credit for that. She's a really good women's wrestler. You need such a better finisher, dude. Like, why can't she use the
Honestly.
Styles Clash? Isn't she like associated with AJ? Like, you let her use the damn Styles Clash or something like that.
Honestly, I agree with that. Better use something that's actually like you're able to.
hmm Genuinely. I mean, she's able to do the Eat the Feet. It just looks like shit. My fucking 3-year-old toddler, I'm pretty sure, could do the Eat the Feet.
Like it's not it honestly, it's not that bad of a finisher. It could be the name doesn't sound bad. Like it could just be changed. Put it
It,
that way.
it it makes sense for a finisher if it's gonna be like a missile drop kick or some shit like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Not like a spin into a like I'm gonna put my foot like in your face.
That's true. I'll give you that.
I'm sorry, but
They need you for food, Ryan. They got you food.
I got my food, yes sir. But then we go to backstage. We see the wise man himself speeding. He's speedy as fuck. He's zooming into the arena. He's on a mission.
This
He's got
man
some
is
authority, some pep in his step. Paul Heyman. He acts like he's going to go through a metal detector. Stops. Then goes around the metal detector. So my question is Paul carrying now?
probably, dude.
Paul
I don't
hey,
blame him.
Paul is strapped now.
I
Now
don't
that
blame him. I would
he
too, dude.
I mean, seeing who he has to go into the ring with later, I agree, Paul. Before we get into his promo, though, we see Naomi have a hype video saying, literally just saying that she is great and she is Naomi. In case y'all
God.
forgot her name, that's what this
God.
video was for. We go out to the ring where we, of course, hear the iconic "Ladies and Gentlemen,"
My
Paul Heyman.
name is Paul
Paul
Heyman.
Heyman. Paul Heyman is in the ring, and he is here to set the record straight. On Monday, we find out who the real tribal chief is. Roman has trained Solo to be next in line for the tribal chief spot. They prepared him for the future. Key word there, future. When Roman was ready to step down from everything at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns caved to 10 years of desperation for revenge against Seth freaking Rollins, dressed in the best Shield gear. With damn, I thought we were gonna get Dean on that night, bro. For 5 fucking seconds, I was like, "No shot, Mox is here."
No, that motherfucker was in Tokyo.
Yeah, motherfucker was in Tokyo, and him getting that desperate revenge against Rollins, hitting him with that chair, costed him everything. Cost him his championship against Cody Rhodes, who got a 1, 2, 3 on the tribal chief. And that's when Solo took his moment. That's when Solo stole the Ulufala from Roman Reigns' bag. Solo, that son of a bitch, did not earn the Ulufala. He stole it from Roman Reigns before getting rid of Jimmy Uso. Then he got rid of the Wise Man because no sane man would ever acknowledge Solo. So he got a crew of filthy animals. Tama and Tonga, who aren't even welcome in the United States. Jacob, who isn't even welcome outside the U.S. prison system. That's who Solo got. That's Solo's tribe. Meanwhile, we got the Uso triplets for Roman Reigns, of course.
Of course.
Monday, live on Netflix. Tribal Combat. No rules, except that there must be a winner and there must be a loser. The winner on Monday, the only tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And Solo's music hits. This is why Paul has a gun, by the way.
Yep. He's strapped.
Solo has a fucking killer entrance, though. Like I don't know if it was just them shooting it for this particular way, but with the fire shooting up around him, I think Bloodline's like the only guys who get like pillars of fire that shoot up for the entrance, and it is freaking awesome. And
I think so.
Solo's entrance music is probably just my favorite, like period. It's the best.
You taking
Solo
it
is
all.
showered in OTC chants when he gets to the ring. Paul wants us all to know that he is about 10 seconds away from pissing his pants right now. Oh shit! I understand that though, Paul. I'd be scared too, especially when someone has Jacob Fatu on their side.
Oh God.
Last time Solo was across from Paul, though, he got put through the announcer's table. So any second, Jacob and Tama could show up and do it all over again. That's when we get a bunch of yeet, yeet,
Yay.
yeet, yeet. Solo holds out his hand for the microphone and Paul gives it to him. And Solo starts off by saying, Phoenix, Arizona, acknowledge me. We don't. He tells
We do
Paul
not.
it's time to acknowledge the truth. And he brings up the favor with CM Punk. And now he needs a favor from Paul. Because he needs someone to hold the Ulafala during the tribal combat match. Someone who loves and respects his family. Someone who will never disrespect the Ulafala. And if Roman beats Solo, then he can place the Ulafala around his neck. And Solo will acknowledge him. But when Solo beats Roman, and Paul will put the Ulafala around his neck, then Solo will own it. And he will own Paul as his wise man forever. And I thought we abolished slavery like 100 fucking years ago. God damn. I didn't know you could own someone still.
Bro, I'm starting to think about it. What happens after this feud's over to Solo?
I think I know. And I'll get into that because you have a bit of a rumor you want to get into. But the final part of this promo is that Roman will have no choice but to finally acknowledge him. And yeah, we got some stuff to talk about with this one because speculation, man.
So, did you pay attention to when Paul did the 1, 2, 3? Pay
Yeah,
attention to Paul's hand.
yeah. He counted 1, 2, 3,
Just like
just
The Rock
like
at
the
Bad Blood
final boss.
in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Mm-hmm.
rumors circulating now that Paul Heyman could be in cahoots with The Rock. You've had this idea for months.
Yes, I have. And I think that this actually, I think Solo telling Paul that he's going to be the one holding the Ulafala kind of cements it, if anything. Because this is the perfect opportunity to have Roman down in the middle of the ring, Solo down in the middle of the ring, Paul holding the Ulafala, and whose neck does he put it around? The Rock's. And
That's crazy.
that's when he pledges his allegiance to the Rock. He doesn't pledge it to Solo, he doesn't pledge it to Roman. This then answers your question. I also have Roman winning the match, by the way. I have Roman winning the match, but Paul still gives the Ulafala to the Rock. Then
Interesting.
Solo has no Ulafala. He's lost to Roman. And this starts to answer your question about what happens to Solo now. Jacob and Tama realize, hey man, we're following a chump right now. Like, this dude just lost to Roman. He lost to Ulafala that he stole in the first place. Why are we following him? And especially Jacob is going to think that way. So I think Jacob eventually turns on Solo to break out onto his own. For the most, that's Jacob's the big idea, but I think both of them are going to do it because I think the Gorillas of Destiny will go out on their own too.
Have
Or
to.
if anything, they'll join the Rock. God will join the Rock. If anything, I think Jacob should just go out on his own.
I like that as well.
So it kind of really just splinters up the Bloodline 2.0 to give us a new main eventer in Jacob. Solo, I would argue, is kind of a main eventer, at a lower main eventer, more of a mid card guy. I would give him a US or an IC title at some point.
Yeah.
And then that gives Roman a chance to start fighting with The Rock and promos with Paul now. This keeps Gorillas of Destiny in the equation to feud with the Usos now. And it kind of just works all out. I can't poke a lot of holes in it, man. I'm freaking loving that idea of Paul Heyman joining The Rock. How about you?
That would be fucking insane. I'd probably be really pissed, but I think that'll be insane. Because I think I'm gonna hold my reaction until that moment. Because I'm like, because this is tomorrow, dude. This is
This is tomorrow.
we're just below 24 hours away
Hmm.
from the debut of this.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
it's surreal, Loki. Like, this is happening, like the biggest move, like the biggest change in our this company that we've loved since we were kids, like has ever gone through. Essentially, I'm pumped for it. We are living through unprecedented times right now, my friend.
We are. We are.
Uh, if that's all we have to speculate on the Ufalafa and the
Ufalava.
Bloodline, we then go to a Motor City Machine Gun video of them being mad at Johnny Gargano for basically betraying them for the tag team titles. And this kind of loops back to what you were mentioning. Like, this is more of a feud between Johnny and the Guns because of the whole personal, like him turning on him and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And he then calls DIY, or it must have been Saban or one of the two. They call DIY wolves in sheep's clothing before they brag about it taking them 3 matches to become tag champs, while it'll only take them 1 win to get them back. As we go to the ring now, ladies and gentlemen, we get a WWE Tag Team Championship match. It is DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa taking on Motor City Machine Guns of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Ciampa is worked down by double teaming in a suicide dive in the beginning of the match. Sabin is kept away from Shelley, mostly by Ciampa, until they both get a tag. Shelley hurts his knee off of a dual suicide dive, though. This kind of ties in throughout because obviously you hurt his leg. You can't walk, you can't fight, as we say. Kicks and knees fly from everyone as they all go down. The Guns go for Skull and Bones. And as they go for it, obviously one of them has to be on the top rope. Pretty Deadly show up to cause a distraction. Shelly then gets taken off of the top rope, and he kicks out of a fairy tale ending as Los Garza chases away Pretty Deadly on the outside. And they kind of just get into a big old brawl, it turns out, out there, which we didn't really see yet. Then DIY gets locked into double submissions. I'm pretty sure Johnny got trapped into the Gargano escape, like his own submission. Then Ciampa gets trapped into the Sicilian stretch, I think is his submission. And just, it's something that they do all the time in their matches. And just as they are both about to submit to these submissions, the brawl on the outside spills inside of the ring between Pretty Deadly and Los Garza, and they fall into the, I guess, pins, causing a no contest. Like, damn. I'm holding out that DIY and the Guns get a more, like, pay-per-view centered rivalry to go off of. Like, his tag champs haven't, like, competed, like, or defended tag gold on PLE, like, all year, I'm pretty sure, like, since WrestleMania or some shit like that. And Saturday Night's Main Event is coming up here soon, so I would say, like, it's a perfect stage to do the Guns, Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY in a tag team title match and give it, like, an actual, like, 25-30 minute showcase so that people can actually, like, realize, like, oh shit, these tag, like, guys, like, man, they're kind of going crazy, especially on SmackDown. Like, those two teams, those Guns and that DIY. But then you also
That
have Pretty
dude.
Deadly in the mix that is also playing, like, a pretty big role in all of this. I would also have the match happen either at Saturday Night's Main Event or Royal Rumble between DIY and Guns, though, and you can add a stipulation onto either one of them at that point. But either way, it'll be phenomenal. Then backstage, we then move backstage as Nia Jax is talking with Candice LeRae, and Tiffy time is nowhere to be seen, and Nia wants to know why. Candice calls Tiffy sensitive, and she's probably just upset about last week, what you said about her not being able to fucking orchestrate an attack or whatever. But it's okay because Candice is here. You know, who else? You don't need nobody else. Candice and Nia both look forward to potentially winning the tag titles after Nia retains tonight, because that would mean that she pins a member of the tag champs. Then, honestly, this is such a small segment, but damn,
The
was this
story
probably one of my
telling.
favorites. The layers, the storytelling, all of it. The foreshadowing of what is to come, hopefully, from this.
Dude, the
Sami Zayn,
foreshadowing we got after her match, I was like, damn.
damn. Sami Zayn backstage walks into Mello talking his trash about last week, and Sammy and Braun can catch that work from Mello anytime, anywhere, though, because, this is him talking to Mello. And then we hear, do we got a problem? And we see the Uso twins behind Mello looking ready to motherfucking pounce, bro. And Mello at first thinks that they're there to back, or someone's there to back him up, and he's like, nah, I got this, don't worry. And the Usos reveal, obviously, it's them, and Mello has nothing to say, and he backs down now that the triplets stand together. They start talking about Netflix, and
The
Jay accidentally points.
Usos!
Damn straight. Sami Zayn says that he's going to go actually get ready for their match. He needs to go get changed. So, Uso bounces. He goes to the Uso locker room, and the Usos start walking, and they start talking about Netflix when Jay bumps into Kevin Owens. Holy shit. Just my brain melted. It's just like, holy shit. We just had Sami Zayn in the frame. Kevin is there. We're clearly purposefully keeping them apart, but together in the same breath and in the same idea. And I think that we're going to Mania with Kevin versus Sami.
I like it.
That's my big thing here. is I genuinely now think that Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn is getting hyped up for Mania, just without them saying anything. And I
I
would
like that.
kill to see them be 1 and 2 in the Royal Rumble this year.
Ooh,
hmm
ooh, he's cooking.
hmm
Let him cook.
I think they've done it once before. Them as 1 and 2. I could 1000% be wrong, but I think it may have happened once before. Um, Jay tells him to watch where he's going, but here's the important thing. What did Drew say to Cody earlier in the night? You need to watch your back. So Kevin looks at Jay and he tells him, hey man, you need to watch your back. So, does Drew and Kevin have a little bit of a thing going on? Maybe? A handshake deal, perhaps?
I like that.
They both hate the same people.
I like that more than Drew wanting to help Cody.
Yeah, 1000%. I like that more than Drew helping Cody. Because, like, the idea of Drew going out there to be like a more of like a red herring to be like, hey, I could be your ally, just to try to wiggle his way next to Cody to stab him in the back later to expose him for Kevin. Although Cody's kind of seemed to be smart enough to it and he's not going to let it happen. But I like the idea of that, trying to do that.
Oh God, I really like that too. I don't know. To me, like I'm gonna go back to WrestleMania 40 for a second. That finish to me was botched. Not botched. It wasn't. I didn't like the ending of it.
What? What ending of what?
The ending of WrestleMania 40, where we
Oh, in
had
the main event?
where we had Cena, Taker, Usos, Solo, literally everyone come out. Like I wish it
Literally
kind of would have
everyone.
stayed. I think the only reason why I didn't like it so much was because of Taker. That's my thing.
That's not like
They
there's
were trying to get
reasons
Austin
and
apparently.
layers for
I think.
why it could of why it had to be Taker. And like
Yeah.
he's talked about it on his podcast where he last minute realized that it was going to be him in that spot too.
Yeah.
So that's why he's in a beanie and in 6 feet
God.
under merch in that shit.
Bro was feeling it that night when he got to the ring. He said he was feeling it.
Seeing the Undertaker in a beanie and street clothes in the main event of WrestleMania, choke slamming The Rock dressed in whatever cashmere fucking silk shit he has on is just such a wild thing to watch.
Agreed.
It would have been better with Stone Cold, I agree, though, just because of that iconic rivalry if you had ended it that way.
Uh-huh.
I am very, very hyped up though for all of this that is getting hyped up on this SmackDown, on this Raw, because I feel like this is really the building blocks for the road to WrestleMania are being laid now.
Oh, 100%. I agree. I would 100% agree to that.
Mm, and I am excited. It is the most wonderful time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost Royal Rumble season. Fuck Christmas.
That's crazy.
Now we go. Now we go backstage, and Cody Rhodes is a part. Again, English is hard, especially on a show that's fucking reviewed over 3 hours. Cody is approached by Nick Aldis, and he tells Cody that he's the one who wanted a ladder match. And now he's trying to get himself taken out of it. He needs Cody to look at the bigger picture for himself and for the health of the company and its future. Nick is the boss, but Cody is the champ, and he has the right to call his shot, and he should tell Drew that he has Cody's attention. Before WrestleMania, Cody said that when one story ends, another begins, and the new story is if he sees KO or anyone that even looks similar to Kevin Owens, it is on site.
Agreed.
All right.
I'm excited to see what happens at Royal Rumble. Because I really want to see everyone get really fucked up by the ladders. Ladder matches are always fun. So
Exactly.
I
Especially
love
with
ladder
like two guys
matches.
like Cody and KO. Like
Yes,
I
100%.
feel like I've said it every time since the match has been made official. But these two, well, especially Kevin, being someone who comes from Ring of Honor, and then and their one of their big stipulations being called a ladder war, being like, I'm so excited for this shit.
Me too, a bit. Me too, man. Honestly, I think once we see that, um, once we see that match, we'll really see more of the building blocks for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. So I think at that point Kevin's gonna go completely off of the deep end because he's gonna lose. Are like honest, like the shot to give Kevin Owens the um championship was Saturday Night's main event, in my opinion. That's when you should have given him the championship, but
I think he should have done it in Bash in Berlin, but that's my opinion.
that would have been a crazy one.
Agreed.
But then when he loses to Cody at Rumble, he can just completely snap, go off the deep end, and that's when Sami Zayn is the guy who has to come in and try to stop him. Maybe he fails though. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? We shall see.